All right, we're back. Welcome back to another week here of the Los Alamitos Weekend Preview. It is, we're recording this on Thursday, May 12th. It is a weekend of the Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity. We just don't know the entry just yet as far as post positions are drawn for the kindergarten, but that's going to be upcoming this Sunday night. Now, we're going to take a look at Saturday night's card. And before, Chris Wade gives us a selection and a replay for Saturday night, I got to ask you, you cashed on that 80-1, right? That was an easy horse to have in the Derby, right?
That was a horse kind of hard to have. That was an Allberger horse. I had some friends who did have some triples, but that horse was kind of hard to have. And he snuck up on the rail and got me on the wire because I like the two horses that were in front tournament for home down the lane. But big upset. And if you had that horse, congratulations, you got paid.
Yeah, you got paid, definitely. There's a very large exotic payouts. I like the horse that ended up finishing fourth, which was Simplification. Well, actually, they kind of made a move together, the eventual winner and him, but Rich Strike was much the best there, rallying from off space. So we'll keep our tabs going here as we approach the Kindergarten Futurity here at Los Alamos Sunday night, and then we'll get ready for the Preakness in a couple of weeks as well. All right, Chris, Saturday night, 10 races. What race do you want to take a look at?
I'm going to take a look at the 8th race. Look at the horse, the number 3 horse, Beduino there for a non-fair racing company. This horse worked pretty well prior to the debut, but earned a pretty good figure with everything factored in versus a long-gone winner. But this horse came off the rail, didn't really care for that inside, broke a little slow brush and drifted in. Lost over a length away from the gate. Showed decent speed and finished pretty well. So with everything factored in, the number's not too bad, and they always improve second-time start. So this horse on my numbers has a big look here at the outcome in the 8th event there. Like 5-1, so nice little price play.
Yeah, a little bit of a good morning line there, 5-1 on Beduino. So this was the race on April 9th, and he had the inside pose this night, correct?
Yeah, he was the number 2 horse. The one was scratched, so he came out of the inside post, broke a little slow, head high, and brushed inward, and drifted in away from the gate. He break a little slow and brushed inward away from the gate. Still showed some decent speed away from the barriers. A nice size animal. And finished pretty well versus a long-gone winner, which is striding out very strong there for Doc Allred and company. But that horse earned a pretty good figure with everything factored in and galloped out pretty well right in the wire. So it's not a bad little effort. So I think with race experience, the barn's going pretty well as we speak. And nice workout prior. I'm going to give him a look here to improve and be a factor at 5-1 in the 8th event.
And like you mentioned, racing experience should be key because the horse that beat him that night, Chit Chat, I believe, was the only horse with racing experience in that field in that specific race. So nothing wrong with finishing second to that impressive winner, Chit Chat.
No, not at all. The horse did have race experience and won well. And this horse was starting out pretty well into the wire after having some trouble and didn't really care for that inside post with his head cocked sideways a little bit and drifting in, but finished pretty well and with race experience off a pretty workout prior, in my opinion, A-. I'm going to give the horse a look at a price there. It's a 5-1 in that 8th event. Kick it off to late pick 3.
Yeah, that is part of the late pick 4. And like you mentioned, final opportunity for a late pick 3 and race some rate. Beduino, Chris's selection at 5-1 on Ed Burgart's morning line. All right, with the schedule of racetracks not running during the daytime because of Kentucky Derby kind of putting in together, are you going to tackle any other racetracks for the nightlines?
Oh, yeah, we're loaded. We got working on it as we speak. They've got races 6 through 12 with a number of mixed breed trials at Remington Park, 5 through 10 at Sam Houston. And this week we're picking up Delta Downs, which it's one of the circuits that I do specialize in. And we're doing the last few races from Delta Downs on Saturday. So 6 through 10 at Remington, 6 through 12 at Remington, 5 through 10 at Sam Houston, and the last 3 at Delta Downs. So it's a lot of handicapping for the weekend, but Delta Downs, one of my favorite tracks.
Sounds good. Thanks so much for that selection, and good luck with all the simulcast analysis as well. You can catch it and read up on it in the nightlines there, courtesy of Christopher Wade. Chris, thanks so much for that replay. We'll talk to you next week here at Los Alamos.
All is set for the first Futurity of the season at Los Alamitos, the historic Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity, Sunday night, May 15th, with over $280,000 on the line. Fastest qualifier, Chick's First Flash, will head the field, plus top contenders, Muy Bien Corona, One Sweet Bar, Mornings with Maria, and 6 other promising quarter horses in action. The Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity. The Futurity season is here at Los Alamitos Racecourse.
That's right. The first Futurity of the season is coming up this weekend here at Los Alamitos on Sunday night. We're recording this on Thursday, Michael, and we're just awaiting the draw for Sunday to see what positions will be decided there for the kindergarten. But good event on Saturday night, 10 races, and we're going to conclude the card with the running of the Dillingham Handicap at 400 yards.
For 3-year-olds, and gee, it's a great race. I think you could make a case for every horse in the field, Jose. I really do. It should be a fabulous betting race, and a great way to cap off Saturday night's card as we eagerly await the kindergarten Futurity draw later on this Thursday.
Yeah, these are going to be the 3-year-olds, like you mentioned, 400 yards. And I'm in agreement with you that I think there's plenty of options to go in this spot. You could build a case for a number of these runners. And what makes it interesting is that a few of these runners are stepping up in class, but they're stepping up with very good form. And I think that's what's attractive about this field.
Yes. There's horses with really good, strong allowance form, meeting some horses with more established stakes form, horses who've qualified to several Futurities and or derbies. And the clash among them's really very intriguing.
Who did you like in this spot? Who do you want to take a look at?
I want to take a look at number 5, Watch Out, who's the third choice on Ed Burgart's morning line. I will show you the replay of the most recent start, the El Primero del Año Derby, and he happens to have been drawn right next to another horse in this race, Insider Information. You can watch them both get into trouble. Insider Information is pretty much eliminated from gate 5 at the get-go. Watch Out has post position 6 and is taken out of play mid-race.
Let's see, they settled pretty nicely in the gate, but you're right. You can see the trouble for the 5 there.
Yeah, 5 gets shut out right away. Watch Out is off the pace a little bit. Hard to know what he would have generated in the final furlong. Not suggesting he would have been right up there with the exacta horses, but he got checked badly and was thrown out of the race to third last. Had no chance at all in the concluding stages. Look, if we take a look through this horse's past performances, Jose, I think there's a lot to like. Back last summer in the Governor's Cup Futurity, he finished second, splitting She Goes Up and Favourite Honey. She Goes Up came out to win the stakes race last weekend, and Favourite Honey is the morning line favourite from the rail for this race on Saturday night, the Dillingham. So Watch Out finished ahead of Favourite Honey in that race. Back in July last year, he won a trial as favourite to the 2 million Futurity, finished midfield in the final, 5th of 9 to Bomb Cyclone, only 3/4 of a length behind the runner-up Whiskey Glasses, again finishing in front of Favourite Honey. He was favourite again in a Winter Derby trial in January and had no luck early in the race. He ran on well, finishing into the fastest closing split of all the trials and galloped out well. He was favourite again, winning his trial to the El Primero del Año Derby, and we just showed you the replay of him getting taken out of the race about the 8th pole. He's got form good enough to win this race. He's much better odds than the rail horse Favourite Honey, and I think Watch Out is a horse that is fairly priced at 5-1 and can take a big hand in the finish.
What's interesting also in this spot is that only the 1 and the 5, Favourite Honey and Watch Out, have previous wins at 400 yards. Favourite Honey has 1, Watch Out has 2. Now, the others have had the opportunity to race 400 yards, but they haven't really been a threat. And I think that might be a little bit of an advantage for both the 1 and the 5.
Yep. And let me mention again the other horse from that El Primero final, the replay that we showed you, Insider Information. He is the longest shot in the field here at 15-1, drawn gate 2. I tell you what, he's not without a chance. Like I said, I think you can make a case for every horse in this field. Insider Information's trial, a couple of runs back in a race won by Golden Boy, it was a wickedly fast closing split and he was running on well. He's got a sneaky chance. So this is a really great betting race. The horses that are sharp in the allowance ranks have to be respected. Yeah. But I've just got a feeling that Watch Out can measure up, and I'm thinking he could still take the next step into the elite brigade of 3-year-olds as the season unfolds.
Well, it's going to be a very nice race to complete the Saturday card, without a doubt. The Dillingham. Why am I struggling with the Dillingham Handicap? 400 yards will be the distance, race number 10. And this is a race where you kind of want to watch the board and get the best odds you can approaching the start, because you can build a case for a number of these runners. I think there's going to be value to be had on a number of these horses.
Yep, and as far as Sunday night's feature, pending the post position draw, you can pencil me in for Mornings with Maria, who will go into the race as a maiden, but I've really liked the 2 performances so far in narrow defeats, and I think Mornings with Maria has a strong chance in the Kindergarten.
Looking forward to the card on Saturday and also the card on Sunday with the running of the Kindergarten. We'll await that entry box later on today here as we record on Thursday afternoon. Michael, thanks so much for that replay and that analysis. I'll see you out there this weekend at Los Al.
Okay, mate. By the way, you liked the winner. She goes up from gate 1 in that stakes race last weekend. You got luxury odds. I cannot believe the horse went off at 9-2.
Yeah.
We spoke about that race last week on this show. And so I'm not Monday morning quarterbacking here. I really felt like Sweet Tess was a false favourite, a very vulnerable favourite. And to see her go off 6-5 from a 5-2 morning line, admittedly there was one scratch, but it was not a significant scratch odds-wise, boggles my mind. I was still scratching my head as I put my head on the pillow that night. And Sweet Tess's effort to finish second was fantastic, by the way.
Yes.
But never should have been those odds, and you got some great value out of the rail stall with She Goes Up. And actually, I was surprised my pick that started the pick 6 went off 9-2 as well. Yeah. So we both got some good odds, mate. Let's hope we can keep the roll going into this weekend.
Let's hope it does. Yeah, I had liked She Goes Up even in the Oaks. She was my pick, but she got into a lot of trouble. I just love that she was switching to the run. We got great odds, so hopefully we can continue the good luck streak going into the next week and with good cards this weekend at Los Al.
Okay. Best of luck to everyone.
Welcome back to the program. That's a good look there at the facilities at Burgart's. And I got to tell you, Professor, Burgart's was happening on Kentucky Derby Saturday all weekend long. It was a good spot to be. And an 80-1 upset, taking down the Roses there. Pretty sure there was a couple of happy people across the grandstand, maybe a few dollars on that big long shot.
Yeah, I heard a few that actually hit it. And, man, what a big payout. The trifecta paid big. The superfecta was huge. And, yeah, if you had that horse, Rich Strike, what a move by the jockey, right? Sonny Leon, just tremendous. And I was kind of watching Messier, trained by Tim Yakteen, and you could see the eventual Kentucky Derby winner just getting right up behind him. And Sonny Leon with a great move swung around him, and just a tremendous finish. Just reminding you of those great rides Calvin Borel used to do. To win his Kentucky Derbies as well. Just a tremendous winning ride.
And now the news are out that he's not going to run in the Preakness. So unprecedented, Professor G. A Kentucky Derby winner not running back in the Preakness. They're going to point towards a Belmont. So that adds to the intrigue now leading up to the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see what kind of a field gets together for the Preakness. And, of course, one of the big questions, Dwayne Lucas's filly, you know, is she going to be maybe part of that race? And then, of course, looking forward to you know, the next field with the Belmont Stakes with the Derby winner waiting in the wings there.
Yeah, so the Derby is in the books, but our first big futurity of the season is upon us here this weekend at Los Alamitos. On Sunday, we'll have the running of the Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity. And then on Saturday night, we got a nice 10-race program. We kind of preview a couple of races there with Michael Rona and Christopher Wade, Professor G. And you'll have a little bit more insight for us as well, talking about the kindergarten as we get to the program. But why don't we review a couple of the 2-year-olds leading up to that 10th race on Saturday night? Because I think there's a couple of interesting 2-year-olds, obviously, that already have racing experience. But the workers, first-time starters in a couple of those, there's some nice workouts for a few of those runners.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we're going to start with race number 8, one of the horses that caught the eye there for me was the number 5 horse, Sicario V. One of the things that really stood out was the purchase price for this horse at the Los Alamitos equine sale, $240,000 he sold at the equine sale. And Jose, when he went through the sale ring, his name was different than Sicario V. He was actually a horse by the name of Hilarious there, in a full brother to Monopolis, and the big price tag there, $240,000 Sicario V.
Yeah, almost $250,000 for Sicario. We have the workout here for Sicario, which was May 7th, and he was on the outside of this set. So, what do you think of this workout?
Went 12-7, like you mentioned, and it's gonna go there. The great runner is gonna outwork a horse by the name of Val Prince from the outside post. 12-7, the rival 12-8. You see him there working without any blinkers. I thought he broke a little bit slow, picked up speed as he was hustled past the gap. And from there, he just looked better and better with each stride. Jose, he pulled away from his rival kind of in those final yards, finished nice and strong, much quieter ride there as he crossed the finish line, and a nice, easy gallop from there. So I thought that overall, a pretty easy move there from Sicario V. Really liked the second half of the work.
I like how he kind of responded when the rider kind of lightly asked there for more. There was a response, and he kept reaching without, wasting a ton of energy. So that's what I liked about the workout. I actually made him my top choice. He's sitting at 6-1 at Edinburgh's morning line because there's other racing experience there, like Beduino, Capora Runaway, who's dropping out of the Kindergarten Futurity, and even Bravery comes out of a 4th place finish behind the fast run, winning He's Chickless there. But I like the move. I like 1270. I think he could have gone faster based on what we saw there. He is going to have to break sharply because they're only going 220, right? Yeah. But I like the way he leveled out. I like the way he finished.
Yeah, that's kind of why I mentioned Monopolis. We know this horse, really strong finisher, but he's also shown a tremendous ability to leave the game, Monopolis, that is. And like you mentioned, got to like the way that Sicario just kind of did a very, very workmanlike type of an effort. And nice odds there, 6-1 on the horse. So pretty interesting for me.
All right, race number 9. There's 2 races left. You know what time it is? Like double time. Races 9 and 10. Race number 9. We got a field of 7 runners going 220 yards. This is a filly. So the fillies are taking over the highlight here in race number 9. A couple of experienced runners. Actually, we already have a futurity finalist in Arizona by the name of Sasanac. But what did you think about most notably the inside runner, Elise Matisse for Double Bar S Ranch?
Well, remember the mare, Rita Hayworth,
yeah,
was a stakes caliber runner. And I thought the horse, looked really sharp, looked great leaving the gate in that drill going against Vanish. Vanish is also part of this race.
Yeah.
They went 12-4 for Elise Matisse and 12-5 for Vanish. Again, Elise Matisse going from the inside post, and she's going to leave the gate really fast into her stride. Very quick early on. Will float a little bit to the inside at the gap, but she continued to exhibit nice quick stride. Also a little bit early, but I didn't think she was really pushed late, and just an overall quick looking drill for me.
I like the way she kind of finished up. The rider was not really asking for much. She actually might have eased up in the
Yeah.
last few yards. So let's rewind it because Vanish is the 6th horse in the same race, and Vanish is the workmate on the outside. And look at the difference in the riders as far as what they're asking their horses. I think that kind of tells you the story of this workout. So Vanish is on the outside, Elise Matisse on the inside. You can see the Vanish moves into bump. And look at the riders, right? Outside riders asking, encouraging, right? Elise is just quiet, a little bit of a hold. Vanish is finishing with some interest. But you can see Elise Matisse probably was wooing a lot more easily there.
And even Vanish was moving around in the gate as well before the start. And like you mentioned, once the gate opened, she came in and crowded her rival, of course, Elise Matisse. And like you mentioned, hustled for the first 100 yards, hand ran midway. And then at the end, kind of a little bit quieter ride. But, the hands tell the story there. One jockey is just kind of throwing the reins out there. The other jockey is just sitting nice and easy, letting the horse do all the quick work.
All right, Professor G, who did you end up picking in this race in the Nightlands? I went 5-1-7, so I picked the 5, See You Soon. And look at the dam, Nymph. This is the same dam of Sicario, right?
Yep.
Look, I'll flip the PPs back. Look at Sicario. This one is my favorite cartel out of Nymph. They paid nearly $250,000. Well, you got See You Soon out of Nymph as well, but by the sire Fly Through Fire, who has been very productive as well. And she's got racing experiences finishing 3rd. 4-1. I'm attracted to that price, so I picked the 5 on top.
Yeah, I also went with the 5, See You Soon. Racing experience, Fly Through Fire. Horses tend to be very quick leaving. And Irving Lara already had a chance to ride this horse, gets a second opportunity back. And what about the horses that See You Soon face? Mass Interest, and then Thames came back and won.
Yeah, Thames came back to win there. You can see the running lines there, and Mass Interest was a strong favorite that night. So I like the racing experience. Obviously, the workout was very nice for Elise Matisse. So I went 5-1-7 for me personally there in race number 9.
And I went 5, 1, and 2. Dog's Best Woman was my next selection there. And this filly, is half sister to Women's Secrets, the horse that won the Los Alamitos Claiming Stakes, and then came back and I think qualified to the PCQHRA Breeders' Futurity. So from a productive family, that's the 2, Dog's Best Woman. And I thought the work was okay. Was part of a 3-horse set, working from the inside. And she dominated that work.
1270 there for Doc's Best Woman. Oscar Pinado for Jaime Gomez. All right, featured event Saturday night, the Dillingham Handicap, 400 yards. These are for the 3-year-olds. There's only 2 runners with that have won on 400 yards. Kind of mentioned it with Mike Corona that it was Favorite Honey, who has won once, and then Watch Out, who has won twice. On their best races, the 5 and the 1 kind of looked like the horses to beat, even though Watch Out is 5-1 based on the past class. But the more you dive in, Orlando, the more I think you can build cases for a lot of these runners in this group.
So we have 3 horses in this group that ran in the El Primero del Año Derby. And we talked about 2 of them already. Favorite Honey, Watch Out, Insider Information ran second to the horse that ended up winning the El Primero del Año Derby, that being Golden Boy. Didn't have such a great race in the final. But then you're talking about the other 5. How about this, Jose? All 5 of those horses have a win already this season.
But Musing comes out of a win. He was winning. He was the winner of the California Freshman Stakes last year. Always 2 out of the last 3 starts have been wins. So if you go through the form, a lot of these runners look very good on paper here.
Yeah, Cactus Jack actually beat Insider Information in an allowance race right after the El Primero del Año Derby. Always, I really liked them in the James Smith handicap, and the horse didn't have his best night. Then ended up running 6 to a Famous Ribbon up the ladder, Moon Valley Eagle. So, but like you mentioned, the horse has delivered a lot of nice efforts. I think that was one of the very few times from his 10 career starts that Always has not hit the board.
That's going to be a good field of 8 competitive group. Even look up on the outside, who's coming off of a powerful win. You're going to get a juicy 6-1 in the morning off of a 1.5 length win. That kind of tells you, the competition that is lined up here in Saturday night's featured event, which will go as race number 10. So 10 races on Saturday night. So that means pick 6 begins in race number 5. So pick 4 there and pick 6 are separate there from each other. As we're talking, Professor G, I got an alert, and I think that means the entries might be out for Sunday. Are they?
I have not heard my fax machine. I still got a fax machine. We just get entries are overnight up here. Usually, Of course, we get them via email as well. But that's usually my sign right there when I get that fax rings up there. But I was down there when they were drawing the kindergarten earlier today, and if One Sweet Duck got the number 1 hole again, she's broken well from the post number 1. Navaja got the number 2 post, and that horse did well in the trials from post number 2 as well. It looks like a very strong group right there in the middle of it all. Mornings with Maria's number 3, One Sweet Bar number 4, Chicks First Flash is the 5, Muy Bien Corona is the number 6 horse. So right there in the middle, you're gonna get some of the top qualifiers to the Kindergarten Futurity. Then moving from there, Smokin Hot Fire, J Perfect Deal, Frack Attack, they go 7, 8, 9. So the outside threats, literally and figuratively, will be going from 7, 8, 9. And the 10, Valiantly, didn't he win from the outside post in the trials as well? So there it is.
There we go. I was working behind the scenes, kind of trying to bring it for you. So here we go.
Sweet Duck from the rail.
She won impressively from the rail in trials night, Professor.
She's
got no problem with this post.
Not at all. So it's really interesting the way the draw is shaping out, because it's kind of like good spots for all the horses.
Yeah.
Navaja ran a really strong second to Muy Bien Corona from the rail. Now gets post number 2. Mornings with Maria kind of ended up in post 3 in those trials. Kind of broke in after breaking from post number 6. And what a race Mornings with Maria had. One Sweet Bar from post 4 ran a nice second from post 5, first time out. Chicks First Flash has been drawing the outside post. Now gets right there in the middle of the fastest probably group of runners there, right next to Muy Bien Corona and One Sweet Bar. There's Muy Bien Corona as well from post number 6. This horse has been such a professional. I don't think the post matters for this horse. Then we have Smokin Hot Fire, draws number 7 again. J Perfect Deal has kind of been on the outside part of the track, gets the 8 post. Frack Attack. It's a horse that I think has a chance to really improve in this time around, and with an outside post, kind of an interesting horse to watch. And Valiantly, one from the outside post, draws the outside again.
Man, this looks pretty ideal for a lot of horses, right?
Yeah.
As far as feeling comfortable where they drew. So that's the entry box, the early entry box draft PPs there for Sunday night's Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity. And Professor, an early look here. Who are you liking? Not an official pick, but just where are you leaning to? What's kind of catching your mind right now?
Well, Muy Bien Corona has just been so professional, has just done everything right. Kind of like that horse as well. Monte Rosa has been on fire as usual, but Lindolfo Diaz, talk about being on fire. His 2-year-olds have just been outstanding. But Mornings with Maria, what about that filly right there? A filly facing some really, really tough horses, some tough colts, some tough young geldings. Navaja, the other filly, another filly in this race. Actually had a chance, Jose, to talk to one of the owners of Mornings with Maria, Enrique Becerra. Maybe right now is the time to play that interview. And we just talked about, just how much fun they kind of provide and the energy that the group provides when they come out, because they come out in bunches, Jose. It's a big, big group that comes out and supports Mornings with Maria. So we talked a little bit about how they came to buy this horse. They purchased this horse at the Los Alamitos equine sale. So why don't we go to that interview with owner Enrique Becerra, part of the group that owns Mornings with Maria.
We went with our list. We went with a list that me and our partners we went through, and the horses that we wanted. we had advised Juan to, to look for a colt for us, and through our career with horses, we always had fillies. So, I went with my book and presented to Juan and what our picks were, and Juan automatically, when we're going down those lanes and looking for those colts that we wanted, I started seeing check mark. He did scratch. So, in the end, he advised me that there's this filly that he caught his eye and that he really liked, and advised me to go check her out. And we went and looked at her, and we fell in love with her. Her conformation was perfect. Everything that was about her, her attitude was to our expectations. So, and that's when we pulled the trigger on her.
And one of the things that we enjoy watching Mornings with Maria run from the press box is the great enthusiasm that your entire group has when she's racing. We watch you guys from upstairs, and the entire group is cheering for her, so excited, cheering her name as in the post parade. Tell me a little bit about the group.
Yeah, we have a huge family. Javier Berrigan is my cousin, and we're very passionate when it comes to horse racing and sports in general. We come from a background of sports, so we're very competitive and passionate. So we pull a lot of people. Our family is huge. So now that Mornings with Maria is doing what she's doing, it brings that life out of us, and we show it. So expect Sunday will probably be in the big numbers as well.
Yeah, you're coming in on truckloads, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, buses.
Exactly. I love it. Tell me a little bit about your background. You mentioned that you come from a competitive athletic background.
Right. So I was mentioning, we all our family members, most of us play sports. So, when I was back in 15 years old, I was a boxer, and one of our main things were listening to your trainer. So, all these years being with Juan since 2008, 2009, I didn't play that part with him. So I finally, coming October the 2nd, I said, what, it's Juan's turn to take the ropes of this, and this is his sport. He knows it. So we all put our faith in him, and this is the results of that. So, much appreciated to him.
Tell me, watching the trials on that night, how did you live the trials when she finished an outstanding second?
Oh, it was excitement. It was nerve-wracking, and we were waiting for that final list. But once that clock stopped with Chicks versus Flash, we knew it was fast. I jumped on Equibase and checked the the final times from the results, and it was mind-blowing. So to us it was a huge surprise, and we're very happy with it, but we lived it to the max. It's a day that we'll probably never forget.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Well, we can't wait to hear the chants of Maria from the press box. Looking forward to a great night, the Kindergarten Futurity this Sunday. Yeah. Thanks so much, Mr. Enrique Becerra, for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, I got to tell you, Professor G, I remember vividly the debut effort, because she got into so much trouble, and watching it live, I thought she might have won, and there was a big crowd kind of awaiting that photo, and I could imagine Enrique was in the mix there between that crowd noise with Mornings with Maria. But she, to be able to buy this one at the Los Alamitos and sell for $12,500, now you're going to be one of the contenders in the kindergarten. This is about as good as it gets.
Yeah, and he shared that his cousin Javier Barragan Jr., professional athlete, he played with Chivas USA, and this is the first horse that Mr. Barragan has owned, and he told Enrique Becerra, he thanked them for inviting him to be part of the ownership of this horse, because he said, just the feeling that I had, just that athletic, just the thrills, the adrenaline. It was so much fun, and he really enjoyed it. So it's great to have a new owner get that kind of experience, great experience, and now have a chance to run in the Kindergarten Futurity.
They're drawn in gate number 3. 2 good efforts right off the bat, and you get a qualifying time of 15:49. Should be one of the favorites in the mix. So that's the field of 10. But I believe you had an opportunity to catch up with someone else in this group as well.
yeah, we've had an opportunity to talk to several of the participants. We had Heath Taylor had an interview. We talked to Armando Cervantes. We've had Lidolfo Diaz. So one of the trainers that we haven't had a chance to talk to is Ricardo Guillen. He's going to saddle number 7, Smokin Hot Fire. One of the first Futurity finalists that he had an opportunity to train. Miss KO ran third in the Kindergarten Futurity a few years ago. So now here he has a nice colt by the name of Smokin Hot Fire. Here's Ricardo Guillen talking about his trainee heading into the Kindergarten Futurity.
He's real professional. The horse, when he comes out to train, he comes out to train. He's not goofing around. He's a really, really nice, level-headed horse. Really, really professional horse.
He's a colt.
He's a colt. He's a colt out of Walkthrough Fire, out of a Corona Cartel mare. His siblings, he's had a couple siblings that run here, and we've noticed that they're actually pretty good allowance horses. So the owner took a shot and bought this colt, and he turned out to be a real nice, big-bodied, not tallest, long, but really level-headed, professional horse in the gates especially.
And it was that gate performance that helped him break quickly in his trial to the kindergarten. And he was in the fastest trial, Chicks First Flash, fastest qualifier, Mornings with Maria, second fastest qualifier, and then he was Smokin Hot Fire as well.
Yeah, so it's the second time he faces the fastest qualifier. The first time we got set up with a faster horse that outbroke all of us, but the horse has a lot. He has a lot of talent for his size. He has a lot of body. He's just, it's like everything. He's coming to with his age, with his professionalism. The more time goes, the better he gets.
And you've had experience now in at this level with futurity races. You actually ran third in the Kindergarten Futurity with a filly by the name of Miss KO, and some other successes as well. Zendaya was in a futurity as well.
A couple years back, I've had luck. Miss KO, well-bred filly, almost the same bloodlines, just backwards. She was Corona Cartel with Walkthrough Fire. So when you start getting into these class horses, you start getting the performance out of them. And this horse, we got him out of the Los Alamitos sale, and he went for a decent price.
Tell me a little bit more about some of the other runners that you've had.
I've had Miss KO a couple years back. We finished third in the kindergarten. And she won her first time out with me in the trial at, I think it was like 30-1, if I'm not mistaken, around there. And she the same thing with her. A little playful once in a while. She is a little bit more playful, but as soon as they get into these gates, my biggest thing is if I can't get them out the gates fast enough, it's going to be really hard to win these races. Quarter horse race, you have to be professional in the gates. The horse has to go in there and just think about breaking. He's doing it. We'll see how it goes in the final. It's going to be a tough crowd in the final. All these horses put up the 10 fastest times, and they all were in different trials. Luckily, I told the owner, we drew the hardest trial. Maybe a lot of people don't see it that way, but sometimes you got to play with a little bit of luck, but we got in.
Perfect. Best of luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
A nice improved effort by Smokin Hot Fire, second time out. Got this colt into the final of the Kindergarten Futurity with a time of 15:74. There's an improving pattern there, and nothing wrong with finishing behind Chicks First Flash and Mornings with Maria, which were expected to be one of the main contenders. So best of luck to Ricardo Guillen and the partnership of Juan Moya and Rojas Racing LLC. Good field. Can't wait. It's going to be a fun, exciting renewal of the Kindergarten Futurity come Sunday night. So 10 races on Sunday and 10 races on Saturday, and should be a fun one. Now we just got to wait for morning line and see how the rest of the card shapes up on Sunday.
Wait a minute. You put me on the spot and told me, who do you like in the kindergarten? So I went ahead and talked about Muy Bien Corona, the professionalism, and went on. And now you're going to end the show and not give us a pick? What is happening here?
Well, there's two horses that right off the bat catch my eye. Okay. And I know I'm gonna
catch my catches your eye, Jose.
And I know they're gonna I'm gonna catch okay prices because the riders that qualify these two specific horses are not in the final, right? One is One Sweet Duck. I was a fan of the mount. She was rocket fast out of the gate. Well, One Sweet Duck already proved that she can win from the rail on trials night. So immediately she attracts me. And who did she get? She got Ruben Lozano because Armando Cervantes is obviously on the fastest qualifier for Chicks First Flash. The other runner is on the outside valiantly. Now, I did not expect that big of a performance on trials night, but she put it all together and she looked professional from the outside post. Now, she was qualified by Jesus Ayala, but Jesus Ayala lands on One Sweet Bar, which, by the way, One Sweet Bar was George Duarte's best bet that night when we had him on board. He really liked this gelding. So right now, Orlando, the 1 or the 10 are kind of calling my name because I know they're not going to be, low prices, but we have to kind of, watch more replays and dive in. But right now, those are the 2 horses that attracted me on the board.
Well, the owners, Dennis Jensen and Randy Young, won the Kindergarten Futurity last year, looking to make it back-to-back. Ruben Lozano had an outstanding season last year, leading quarter horse jockey, won the Edberg Million Futurity with Golden Boy the year before, won the Governor's Cup Futurity with Constituent. Doesn't have a win in the Kindergarten Futurity yet. So here he has an opportunity to do it with One Sweet Duck. And last week when we talked to Armando Cervantes, we had an interview with him on the show. By then he had pretty much, figured that, I'm going to go with the 5 Chicks First Flash, but he really, really liked One Sweet Duck, one of his favorites he mentioned. So yeah, Ruben Lozano gets a really good mount from an experienced horse from the rail.
It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be competitive. By the way, this might be one of the only times that Cruz Mendez has running for Monte Rosa, right? I can't think of many opportunities that Cruz Mendez has gotten for this barn. So best of luck to Cruz Mendez. He's got a live one there in Valley.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
All right, Professor G, you twisted my arm. You had to twist my arm, of course. So those are the 2 horses.
You're gonna, skip by that easily. Come on, good try, Jose.
Those are the. Well, I tried. Those are the 2 horses that kind of attracted my name. But it's going to be a competitive one. Can't wait. Should be a fun one on Sunday night. 10 races on both cards, Professor G. Looking at the PPs for Saturday. It's looking like 6 p.m. approximate for Saturday night.
6:05.
Okay, 6:05. All right. And we expect similar clocking, similar time for Sunday?
Yeah, so? I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
All right, Professor G. Thanks so much for the interviews. Thanks so much for the analysis. Thanks so much for twisting my arm and getting me to kind of make a little bit of a commitment early on. By the way, I want to give you credit. I don't know. I got to go back and confirm it. But did Professor G on the front page of the Nightlines give out a pick 4 that was paid like $1,000? Is that correct? Or was that a typo?
No, it happens.
Right?
It happens.
Yes. Professor G coming through. Look at you. I believe it was a couple of nights. It was might have been Saturday night of last week. Or if not Sunday of the week before. But yeah, I came back and I reviewed the results. I was like, Professor G had this pick 4. Professor G had this pick 4. I think it paid $1,000, like $1,008 or something like that.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky. I got pretty lucky selecting both winners of the stakes races last week as well. We both like She Goes Up from Along the Rail on Saturday night. And on Sunday, I also liked Jet Wings 1 in a really, really strong running of the Miss Princess Handicap.
Yeah.
So, fun times.
Good performance. I mean, tremendous performances. Kissed Fire broke as good as she's probably done in recent starts. And Jet Wings 1 was just that much sharper. I mean, they both ran terrific in that event. And She Goes Up kind of returned to that form where she kind of was touting that she was ready to go. But it was like kind of deja vu, right? It kind of took us back to last season's Governor's Cup, where she kind of looked similarly from the rail. She just dominated that field.
Yeah.
You got to talk to Scott Willoughby in the after the race, and you get to. Did you present the trophy? I think you presented the trophy as well, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Any about the plans about She Goes Up moving forward?
Well, you got the Governor's Cup Derby, of course. That's coming up. She, like you mentioned, she won the Governor's Cup Futurity last year, so looking to for a sweep of the Governor's Cup Series. And of course, there's so many nice races for 3-year-old fillies that they're going to be keeping an eye on the next opportunity for She Goes Up. And Jose, we're already in May, of course. June 12th, Abigail Kawananakoa, the inaugural running, $100,000 race. So we'll be seeing some of those horses that we saw in them is Princess, definitely pointing at that big new race for mares here at Losa.
And how are the phones? Are the phones still ringing for the Wiener Dogs? You got to get those Wiener Dogs lined up for July, Professor.
We're getting some good ones. I like some of the names as well. Lowhound is going to be a part of it. You know, quite a few buddies that are interested in participating. We got some. What did we have recently? I'm trying to think of some fun names that we're getting as well. There's always a few Detective Douglases. Remember that dog as well.
Yeah.
And I never thought, why do they name him Detective? But now I have a little dog as well.
Yeah.
And he'll just stop and just look at everything and wants to snoop at everything.
Yeah.
So now I know where the detective came from. You know, they're just, you know, dogs that are just
curious,
looking at everything, curious.
Yeah. Analyzing the surroundings, making sure that humans are behaving. Exactly. And over their realm, so because they control the house. My dog controls the house too. The girls, it goes by rankings. It goes my girls, my daughters, then the dog. I'm bottom of the totem pole in this household, Professor G. I'm just the yes man in the house. I accept it. I'm outnumbered. It's just part of life. Part of life. All right, Professor. Thank you so much for everything. Looking forward to the runnings of the Robert Adair and the Dillingham on Saturday night. And keep picking those winners on the audience. I'm watching, Professor. I'm watching.
Thanks so much, Jose.
All right. Have a good night. We'll see you this weekend.
Bye-bye.
Racing fans, we're thrilled to announce that the Wiener Schnitzel Wiener Nationals return to Los Alamitos Racecourse for our 25th running on Saturday night, July 16th. And if you have a dachshund that loves to run or simply loves to meet new friends and have fun, then let us know. Your dachshund could be our next big winner on Wiener Nationals night. Who will be the fastest wiener in the West? We can't wait to find out. The Wiener Schnitzel Wiener Nationals at Los Alamitos Racecourse, Saturday night, July 16th.
Fire wins the Charger Bar. Favourite Colossus in a photo finish. Favourite Colossus. Able to dig even a point to prove.